You know what's funny? Everyone thinks being social is this massive skill that only naturally outgoing people have. But that's completely wrong. The truth is way simpler and way more interesting. Let me start with something that might surprise you. That nervous feeling you get before meeting new people? That's not a problem. That's actually your brain working perfectly. Think about it like this. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived in small groups. If your group rejected you, that was basically a death sentence. No protection, no food, no survival. So your brain developed this alarm system that says, hey, this social situation is important, pay attention. That butterfly feeling in your stomach before a party? That's not you being broken. That's ancient survival programming still running in your head. And here's the really important part. Every single person feels this. That confident guy at work who seems totally relaxed in meetings? He feels it. That woman who talks easily in front of crowds? She feels it too. The only difference is they understand what that feeling means. They don't fight it or think something's wrong with them. They just recognize it and move forward anyway. Once you understand this simple fact, everything changes. Social anxiety stops being your enemy and becomes information. It's your brain saying, this matters to me. And that's actually a good thing. It means you care about connecting with people. It means you're human. Now let's talk about how you actually get better at this stuff. Social skills work exactly like muscles in your body. I'm not just using a cute comparison here. This is literally how your brain functions. Every time you practice talking to someone, you're building actual physical pathways in your brain. These pathways get stronger each time you use them. Just like doing push-ups makes your arms stronger. Think of a basic conversation like lifting weights at the gym. The first few times feel awkward and uncomfortable. You don't know what you're doing, but your brain is building new connections every single time. Making eye contact is one repetition. Asking a follow-up question is another rep. Sharing a story about yourself is another rep. Each tiny action builds your social strength bit by bit. But here's what most people get completely wrong. They try to become super social overnight. That's like walking into a gym and trying to lift 300 pounds on your first day. Your social muscles need time to grow and adapt and get stronger. Start with 5-minute conversations. Practice one small skill at a time. Celebrate the tiny wins. Everyone who's good at socializing started exactly where you are right now. They just kept showing up and doing their reps. Let me tell you about the most powerful social skill that exists. It's not being funny or charming or having great stories. It's listening, but not just regular listening. I'm talking about a specific formula. Listen for 70% of the conversation and only talk for 30%. This isn't random. Studies of the best conversationalists in the world show this exact pattern. When you let someone talk about themselves, their brain releases the same feel-good chemicals as eating their favorite food or getting money. You're literally rewarding their brain just by listening. But real listening doesn't mean sitting there quietly waiting for your turn to talk. Your brain should be fully focused on understanding what they're saying, not planning your next sentence, not thinking about how you relate to their story, actually absorbing their message. Watch what happens when you do this. People feel truly understood, which is incredibly rare. They naturally want to know more about you. They remember conversations with you as special and meaningful, all because you gave them something most people never give: your complete attention. Pay attention to the details. Notice how someone's voice changes when they talk about certain topics. Watch their energy go up and down. Pick up on the small words they emphasize. These subtle clues tell you what really matters to them deep down. Here's another game changer. Be genuinely curious about people. Not fake curiosity where you're just being polite. Real curiosity about what makes each person unique and different. Think of every person like a book with 1,000 pages. Most people only read the cover and maybe the first page. But when you're truly curious, you discover chapters filled with surprising stories and fascinating experiences. Every single person you meet knows something you don't know. The secret is asking questions that open doors instead of closing them. Instead of asking, "How was your day?" try asking, "What was the most interesting part of your day?" Watch how people's faces light up when they realize you actually want to know the real answer. When you're genuinely curious, something magical happens. Social anxiety often disappears completely. Why? Because your focus shifts away from yourself and toward discovering something new about the other person. Your brain gets too busy being fascinated to worry about being anxious. Let me explain something that completely changed how I see people. Every person isn't just one person. They're actually 3 different people at the same time. First, there's who they think they are. Second, there's who other people think they are. And third, there's who they actually are underneath it all. Think about yourself for a second. You have a clear picture of who you are, your strengths and weaknesses and personality. But other people see a completely different version of you based on their own experiences with you. And somewhere between these two versions is who you truly are deep down. This matters because when someone seems difficult or unfriendly, you're probably just seeing one of their three versions. Maybe they think they're being careful, while others see them as cold, and their true self is just protecting old wounds from the past. Understanding this makes you instantly more patient and understanding with people. You stop taking things personally. You get curious about which version you're seeing. Now let's talk about the question funnel. This is a powerful tool that opens up any conversation naturally. Imagine a funnel that starts wide at the top and gets narrower at the bottom. You start with broad, easy questions and naturally flow into deeper, more interesting ones. Here's how it works in real life. Start with simple facts, then move to opinions. Finally, explore feelings and experiences. Each question builds on the previous answer, creating natural flow and deeper connection. For example, you might ask what kind of work someone does. That leads to asking what made them choose that field, which flows into asking what's the most challenging part of their job. See how each question gets more interesting and personal. Combine this with a memory technique. As someone answers your questions, imagine placing key details in specific locations in an imaginary house in your mind. Their job goes in the living room. Their passion project goes in the kitchen. Their biggest challenge goes in the garage. This makes remembering details effortless. When you meet them again, you can mentally walk through your memory house and recall specific things about them. How's that hiking trip you were planning? Or did you finish that book you were excited about? People are genuinely amazed when you remember these details about them because it's so rare to hear something subtle but incredibly powerful called the echo effect. When two people really connect deeply, their bodies naturally start to synchronize. Their breathing matches. Their gestures align. Their energy levels become similar. This isn't conscious. It's your social brain doing what it naturally does best. But you can speed up this natural process that if someone speaks softly, gently lower your volume. If they're energetic, gradually raise your energy. If they lean in during conversation, naturally mirror that engagement. The key word here is subtle. You're not copying them like a mime. You're matching their energy in a natural way. Watch what happens in their brain when you subtly match someone's energy and body language. Their brain unconsciously registers you as safe and trustworthy. Try it with tiny movements. The slight tilt of your head when they tilt theirs. The natural shift in your posture when they shift. Matching their speaking pace. Each small adjustment builds unconscious rapport and trust. Think of your social skills like a car engine. When you first started after sitting for a long time, it's cold and rusty and doesn't run smoothly. But keep it running and it warms up, gets smoother, runs more efficiently. This is literally how your brain works with social skills. Think of your network like a garden. Some connections need daily attention. Others need occasional checking in. Some grow naturally without much effort. Others need careful tending and care. And just like a garden, the magic happens in how different elements support each other and grow together. Strong networks aren't built at networking events. They're built through genuine connection and helping other people connect with each other. When you focus on creating value for others, your network grows naturally and organically. The real skill is pattern matching. Seeing how different people in your network could help each other. Recognizing when two people should meet. Understanding what each person needs and who might be able to provide it. You become a catalyst for connections between others. Watch what happens when you introduce two people who truly help each other. They remember you made that happen. When you share opportunities without expecting anything in return, people notice. When you follow up meaningfully, they respond positively.